Hello everyone, in this video we're going to explain about the communicative approach. According to Tolbing, the communicative approach is the theory that language is communication. This means that language is not just a system of grammar and vocabulary, it is a tool for expressing meaning and interacting with others. So when we learn a language, our goal is not only to know how to form correct sentence, but also to know how to use them naturally and appropriately in real situation.
Alright everyone, let's next to the communication language teaching, or simply CLT. According to Richard 2006, CLT is a teaching approach that focuses on learning language through real communications. This means that a student learns English not just by memorizing grammar rules, but by actually using the language in meaningful context. Knell and Swain, 1980, state that CLT aims to develop both fluency and accuracy. In other words, learners are encouraged not only to speak correctly, but also naturally and effectively in real-life situations. Richard also emphasized that language learning happens best when used the language for authentic purposes, such as discussion, role plays, or problem-solving tasks. In a CLT classroom, the teacher acts more as a facilitator rather than the sole source of knowledge. Mistakes are seen as part of learner's process, and students are encouraged to communicate confidently without fear of being wrong. Some common CLT activities include role plays, pair and group work, information gap tasks, problem solving, and project. This promotes communications and helps students become active participants in their learning. Now, let's move on to the strengths and weakness of CLT. Let's start with the strength first. CLT builds students' confidence in using English and makes learning more relevant to real-world communications. It also develops teamwork, creativity, and critical thinking. Students learn English not just for exam but for real-life use, which makes learning more enjoyable and meaningful. However, CLT also has some weakness. Sometimes grammatical accuracy is neglected because fluency is prioritized. A student may speak fluently but still make structural errors. CLT can also be difficult to manage in large classes as it requires more instructions and guidance. Teachers must be creative and well prepared to design communicative tasks effectively. Moreover, CLT demands more time and resources. In exam-oriented system where grammar and tasks dominate, it may not perfectly align. Students with limited vocabulary or low confidence may also struggle to participate actively. Therefore, CLT is an effective and dynamic approach, but teachers need to balance fluency and accuracy and adapt it to their classroom context. Next is about examples of CLT classroom activities. There are 3 examples. The first one is role play at a restaurant. So, the teacher divides the class into pair or small group. Each pair plays 2 roles. One as the waiters and one as the customer. Before the activity, the teacher provides some useful expressions such as "Good evening, may I take your order?" or "Could I see the menu, please?" or maybe "Sorry, my soup is cold." Students then prepare a short dialogue using their creativity. They can even use props like menus or tables to make a setting more realistic. Each pair performs their dialogue in front of class, while the teacher monitors and gives feedback, focusing more on communication rather than grammatical errors. Afterward, the teacher leads a short reflections like "What expression did you find useful?" or maybe "How did you solve the customer problems?" This helps students reflect on the purpose of communication in real-life situations. And the second example is information gap activity. Students work in pairs again. Each student receives a worksheet with missing information. For example, student A has a train reschedule with some blank, while student B has the complete versions. They must communicate using English to complete the missing information, like student A asking for what time does the train Jakarta leaves, and student B answer it leaves at 7:48 p.m. The rules is they cannot look at each other's worksheet, so they must rely entirely on verbal communications. This activity builds interaction, question making, and listening skills. The teacher walks around, observe, and help students if necessary. At the end, the class review the answer together. And the third example is group project. For the final activity, students work in group or 4 or 5. Each group chooses or is assigned a topic, for example, tourism in Indonesia. They create a short project such as a travel brochure or presentations promoting tourist destinations. The teacher first show a model explaining how to describe place or write short persuasive sentences. Students then collaborate the design their brochure or slide, with each member taking a specific role like writing, designing, presenting, or checking grammar. After the project is complete, each group present their work to the school, to the class. Other students may ask questions like how much does it cost to visit Bali, or what activities can we do there? The teacher provides feedback focusing on fluency, creativity, and teamwork rather than grammar accuracy. This kind of task integrating speaking, writing, reading, and collaborations, making English learning both communicative and meaningful. The CLT examples, the restaurant roleplay, information gap, and tourism project are most appropriate for senior high school students in grade 10 to 11, which emphasize functional communication skills. Therefore, these CLT activities perfectly match high school learners' level and objective. They support communicative competence, encourage interactions, and reflect real life language use. The next material will be delivered by Mega Agustina.
Okay, now let's talk about task-based language teaching, or TBLT. Basically, TBLT is an approach to teaching languages that focuses on real-world tasks, or not just grammar or structured drills. In this approach, students use the target language to achieve a goal. For example, planning a trip, solving a problem, or making a presentation. A task in TBLT has 3 key features. The first, it focuses on meaning, not just form. Second, there is usually some kind of gap, like an information gap or opinion gap, that pushes students to communicate. And third, the outcome of the task is something non-linguistic, like a poster, a decision, or a report. So, the main idea is that students learn language by it in meaningful ways. Next, let's look at the main stages of TBLT and some its pros and cons. There are 3 stages in TBLT. The first is pre-task stage, where the teacher prepares students by introducing the topic, key vocabulary, or example. The next stage is the task stage, where students actually work on the tasks, usually in pairs or groups. And the last is post-task stage, where students reflect, share their outcomes, and get feedback from the teacher. Now, the advantages are quite clear. TBLT makes learning more meaningful and motivates students to use language actively. It also encourages real communication and creativity. But there are also challenges. Designing a good task takes time. The class might run out of time, or some students might not feel confident communicating freely. And of course, both teacher or student need time to adapt to this method. Now, let's look at the detailed example of how TBLT works in practice. This task is called ordering food in a restaurant. The goal is for students to practice how to make polite requests and respond naturally, just like in real life. In the pre-talk stage, the teachers show a short sample dialogue between a waiter and a customer and highlights useful expressions. For example, "Can I take your order?" Or "I'd like a bowl of soup, please." Then, during the talk stage, students work in pairs. One plays the waiters and other play the customer. They are given menus and situation card. Maybe one student is vegetarian or allergic to nuts or has a small budget, so they need to adjust their conversation accordingly. Finally, in the post-talk stage, students reflect on what expression they use and the teacher provides feedback on pronunciation and fluency. They can even switch roles and do the activity again to improve. Through this simple activity, students practice real communication in a natural, meaningful way, which is exactly what TBLT is all about.
Natural approach. The natural approach was developed by Stephen Krashen and Dorothy Terrell in the early 1980s. This approach focused on natural language comprehension, similar to how children acquire their first language. Its main goal is to build spontaneous and meaningful communication skills rather than simply mastering grammar rules. Here are the key points. The first is main goal: to develop the ability to communicate naturally in the target language, emphasizing comprehension before speaking. The second is theoretical foundation: acquisition versus learning. Language is acquired through understanding and natural communication, not through memorizing grammar rules. The first is input hypothesis. Students learn when they achieve comprehension input that is slightly above their current level. The second is affective filter hypothesis. A positive attitude and a low stress environment helps students absorb language more effectively. The third is natural order hypothesis. Language structures are acquired in a natural and predictable order. The third is roles of teacher and student. Teacher provide clear, interesting, and comprehension input rather than constantly correcting errors. Student acts as an active listener and is not forced to speak until ready. The fourth is learning characteristic. Focus on meaning and understanding, not on grammatical form. Errors are seen as a natural part of the learning process. The target language is used consistently in class. Activities include games like discussion, storytelling, and real-life communication situation without pressure. The fifth is advantage. Encourage students to use the target language confidently. Reduce anxiety, low affective filter. Creates a natural and enjoyable learning experience. 6 is disadvantage. Give less attention to grammatical accuracy, difficult to apply in large classes or exam-oriented settings that emphasize formal structures. So, the natural approach emphasizes that language should be acquired naturally through meaningful communication, not taught mechanically through rules. In a relaxed and input-rich environment, learners can understand and eventually speak fluently without pressures.
To conclude our presentation, all communicative approaches share the same main idea. that language learning should be meaningful and interactive. The communicative approach sees language as a tool for real communication, not just a set of grammar rules. Then, communicative language teaching, or CLT, focuses on developing both fluency and accuracy through real and authentic activities. Next, TBLT helps students learn by completing real-world tasks that make communication purposeful and creative. And finally, the natural approach highlights the importance of comprehensible input and learning in relaxed, low-stress environment. Overall, these approaches show that language is best learned through communication by using it, not by memorizing it. When students use language to express ideas and interact with others, learning becomes more natural, effective, and enjoyable. Thank you everyone for your attention. That's all from us.